God.
We're not. Hey, Facebook, happy Monday, everybody.
Happy Monday.
Getting ready for the Indy Disney meet this Saturday in Noblesville, Indiana. Hope to see you there. We're going to have a good time raising money for Give Kids the World as we do every fall. So I am warning everybody the Mizzou game is kicking at 4, so don't come around me I know we're on the stage at 5:30, hoping that's around halftime, and I hope we're in the lead. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, we're on stage at 6.
Huh? I don't know.
I think we're on stage at 6. Hold on, let me find out so that way.
It's a huge game because I hate South Carolina. Not the people in South Carolina, just the University of. So.
All right, let me double check so that way we can say actually definitively what time we are on, because I don't want to say the wrong time later today, so it's fine.
We're the big finale, actually. I mean,
we're the big finale. I mean, we're not really.
It's like, can we save the best for last? We're like, yes, you can. That's fine.
Yeah, that's right. It's fine. Yeah, hold on. Give me a second.
Scott's going to be there. He needs to know what time we're going to be on the main stage. Scott's going to be there on Saturday.
All right. I am excited. We are, hold on, the schedule of events. Oh, okay. We are on stage at 6:15.
Oh, 6:15. That'll be the heart of the third quarter, man. I'll have to. Somebody's gonna have to have a bug in my ear.
You're gonna just have to put it out of your mind.
You don't understand, man. No, Mizzou football, and it's South Carolina. And they have a freshman quarterback that's like on fire. This Helinski kid makes me nervous. This is like our season. Like, I mean, I know it's early, but this is a huge game. Like, if we can't beat South Carolina, the whole season's down the tubes.
Oh wow, that's terrible.
But there's going to be lots of fun stuff happening.
Oh, there will be lots of
fun
but I'll
stuff.
be sour. If we're losing, I'll be sour. So I'm just warning people. You don't know me on Saturday.
Great of all of our listeners. That's
know. It's like this event has always been like before the football season started every year. Now we pushed it back a little bit. I didn't realize it was on the South Carolina weekend. Ugh.
Oh,
but if we're winning, I'll be extremely happy.
Hey, let me know what this sounds like. You know, this sounds like first world problems. Yeah, mic problems.
Yeah. Sounds like a mic problem.
It is.
It does. Check. Sounds like a mic problem.
Amy up to 7. She's watching from the treadmill. Go to 7.0. Let's get a little sweat burning it now. If I did 7.0, I'd be plastered into the wall. Yeah, Indy's Eastern time. So 4 o'clock.
Sounds like a first world mic problem.
But I'll be.
Here's
the other thing. Right? When you see me, you gotta give me an MIZ, and I'll give you a ZOU, and wear black and gold, because I'll be wearing black and gold, rocking.
Or you can wear a Be Our Guest podcast shirt.
Nope.
No, Be Our Guest podcast love. That's fine.
I mean, you'll find the 6'3" guy in a Mizzou football jersey. That you'll know that's me. That's what I wear every Saturday.
No support for our podcast that we do.
Podcast, and I love this podcast. Don't worry. I mean, this is my dream come true. But God, I love Mizzou. MIZ.
This is a conversation that's happening. But if you haven't checked out the Indy Disney Meet this year, they have an auction that's online.
Yes.
It has some awesome stuff. I know, right? And if you're coming to the meet, make sure you find our Magic for Less travel banner. It won't be hard to miss, or it will be hard to miss.
Speaking of football.
Yeah. It is like 12 feet by 8 feet high. But the thing is, you're going to want to get a picture of yourself in front of it, take a selfie.
That's right.
And if you hashtag it the Magic for Less and Indy Disney on Facebook or Instagram, you'll be in a drawing for some Disney gift cards and some other good stuff. So
can I
win? No, you cannot win. She never gets to win.
Never get to win things. I'm so mad.
You do never get to win. But anyways, yes. So we will be there. That's where we'll be on Saturday. It's crazy.
I love her. She says she's not a USC fan either. I know. Is Mike Bankhead? We all love Mike Bankhead. He calls them the little chickens.
The little chickens.
Well, they're the Gamecocks, and so they're the rival for Clemson because they're both in South Carolina. So
got it.
It seems to me like you could get into some trouble with that team name.
I would think so.
I know. Seriously, who names their team the Gamecocks? I mean, come on. That's why we got to crush them.
And everyone shortens everything, so
exactly.
I'm gonna say.
And you're definitely not gonna shorten it with the word game. I'm just saying.
The gamers.
The gamers.
I'm just saying. Yeah, and they have this annoying rooster crow that plays on third down. I know every team's got their third down like thing to rattle the other team, but they have this annoying every time there's a third. It's like, oh, but I do got to go to a game there. I just want to take it in.
You know what's annoying? It's annoying.
What?
Your face. Stop talking about Mizzou.
Oh, God. I didn't tell you. There's a guy that's on. His name's dude, what's his? Why did I lose his name? Anyway, he hosts a show on ESPNU, college football, with Coach Neuheisel. He's going to be on our podcast. I'm doing a Monday show with him. He's on Sirius XM Radio. He's a big Disney fan, but he's also a college football fan.
Oh my goodness.
It's going to be awesome. We're going to talk football.
I fell asleep in this conversation.
Oh, that's just going to be
anyway. Yeah. By the way, Scott asked me a question about at Six Flags Atlanta, can you meet Batman? I don't believe you can. I know you can meet Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck and all those characters, but I don't think you can meet Batman. Sorry. That would be awesome though if you could. Just saying. That'd be so
all right,
awesome.
So we gotta get cracking here. So
all right.
And we'll see you this weekend, Mark. Can't wait. Okay.
Hey, get to see the Yerks. So excited.
I know, it's awesome.
Getting to see our listeners.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Welcome to episode 1539 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Wednesday to you. We are getting you ready for the big weekend out in Noblesville, Indiana. That's right. It's that time of the year. It's time for the Indy Disney Meet. Tons of Disney fans getting together for a great cause to raise money for Give Kids the World. Come by and say hello to us. We'll all three be there at the Magic for Less table. We have a booth that can be seen from space. Shouldn't be hard to find it. So come on over. Wow. And we're actually going to record a podcast and we're going to ask you to join us. We'll give the details on that. We'll just check in on the social media for that. We're not sure on the time. We're going to wait and see how the day plays out, but we're going to have you jump in. You got 5 minutes to give a hot take or a question, and we'll record a show here for the feed live from the Indy Disney Meet this Saturday in Noblesville, Indiana. But for right now, we are talking Disney, having a great time answering your listener questions. So joining me today from at DisneyWorldAfterAll.com, touringplans.com, and the Mouse for Less, we have Rikki. What's going on, Rikki?
You all are lucky. I love you so much. No, not really. I had my wisdom tooth taken out on Saturday, and I'm here for you today. So I'm just saying, you're lucky. I love you.
Yeah, you kind of dropped out. You had a wisdom tooth pulled on a Saturday?
I did. Yes, sir. So,
wow.
What kind of a dentist works on a Saturday? Where'd you go?
My dentist works on a Saturday, and they pulled out my tooth. It went right out. So anyway, I'm one tooth less.
You lost 12 IQ points with that wisdom.
Pretty much. Yeah, exactly. According to my brother, I did. So it's fine. Because we had a debate about what the wisdom tooth fairy would look like.
It's gotta be good. It's got to be at least a good $50 under your bill.
I said she probably would look a little homely. So she's not as special as the actual tooth fairy.
Maybe she's like older because you usually have your wisdom teeth out, like as you get older.
So I want to know, what do you think the wisdom tooth fairy would look like?
Well, typically, it's like a dropout college kid. You know what I'm saying? Like usually you lose your wisdom teeth when you're in college. So it's like some broke kid writing home, "Mom, I'm overdraft. I got to overdraft with my bank account. Help me out."
It's like a surly young adult.
Exactly. That's exactly what I picture. I picture this. I try to picture Paige as the.
Wow.
Yes. Well, she's a grad student now, so what can you do? Grad assistant for Mizzou women's basketball, so serving the SEC. We got to like that. Anyway, also joining us, we have the co-owner of the Magic for Less Travel, Pam Forrester. Pam, save us. We're talking Disney the rest of the show.
Not wisdom teeth?
No.
That seemed like such a popular topic.
Yeah. There's a lot of shows out there.
Yeah. What are we going to hashtag that? I'm not sure. I'm sure it'll bring in a lot of new listeners. But anyways, yes.
Hashtag wisdom tooth fairy. I'm just saying.
Hashtag oral surgery today.
Wow. Some of that may bring in new listeners. I don't know about all of it, but it depends on how you hashtag it. So anyways, but yes, so we are talking Disney. I hope we don't lose our rating on that last little joke. But anyways, we're talking about Disney today. Listener questions, which are sort of our strong point. I'm not sure how, but we have made a whole Wednesday's worth of shows based around this concept. So what happens is you ask us either by writing into Mike or posting here on the FaceTube as we record. And we try our best to answer. Sometimes we get them right, sometimes we get them wrong. It's always mildly entertaining.
It's somewhat entertaining.
Focus on the mildly. All right, first question of the day. We're talking about Pop Century pools, and actually, where I'll be here in 2 weeks from today, I'll actually be at Pop Century riding on those Skyliners, the gondolas. Can't wait. It's gonna be fun. See, it's Lori and Eric says, hello, Mike. Thanks for your podcast. I've been enjoying listening to it as I drive to and from work each day. My family and I are heading down to Disney World for our March break. We have a reservation already at Old Key West from the Saturday to the Saturday, but are considering grabbing a Friday evening flight to maximize our time down south. Well done. Well done. As we would like to take advantage of Magical Express, I thought about booking one night at Pop Century since so many people sing its praises. I noticed on the Disney site that the Hippity Dippity pool, actually Hippy Dippy pool, will be under construction at that time. As we are only spending one night and part of the next day there before heading over to Old Key West, do you think this will impact our stay much? Coming from Canada, one of our goals is to spend lots of time swimming, so we would definitely want to swim first thing Saturday morning. We will not be visiting any of the parks that day. Should we consider a different value resort instead? Thanks for your advice, Lori and Eric. Well, first of all, thanks for tuning into the show as you drive to and from work. Here's my 2 cents on this, and I'll go. This is not going to be a long one, but just real quick. I would still say at Pop Century, it offers a lot. You know, I think if you're somebody that's I listen to actually retro podcasts. I listen to shows about the 80s and collectibles and TV shows and arcades and video games. So like this resort couldn't hit me better. This one in Cabana Bay over at Universal. Love it. Pop Century's got 3 pools. It's got the Hippy Dippy pool, which is the feature pool right in the middle of the resort outside the main building between the 60s buildings. It's nice. It's got some they look like flower power tulips or whatever that shoot water out. It's a great pool. However, as my family has grown up, we've always tried to stay in the 50s. There's a bowling pin pool, which we've always liked. And so you have that pool, and you also have the pool down in the 80s that kind of looks like it's the base of a laptop computer. Either one of those pools will do you fine because they're all pools. They don't have slides, any of them, you know, they're all 3 slideless. You're not going to get any more. It's kind of a thematic thing other than the spraying flower pools. I would say stay there, take it in. I would not change a hotel reservation for this fact. Pam, what about you?
I agree. I think that Pop Century has so many positives at this point. First of all, the rooms have been redone, and we've talked about them a few times here on the podcast. But if you haven't, seen them in person, go over to the Mouse for Less and check them out. There are great photos there. They have the queen size bed and then the pull down table bed, which they have a fancy name for that I just call. Yes, I just call the pull down table beds, but there is a fancy name for it. But anyways, that makes it, just awesome. They've added all kinds of plugs and things that make your room great. And as we always say, Pop Century and Art of Animation, one of the great reasons to stay at either of those resorts is you're within walking distance to the other one's food court. And those happen to be the 2 best food courts at any 2 Disney resorts. So I think for those reasons, it's worth it. You'll be able to swim at the other pools. Like Mike said, you can't use the pools over at the Art of Animation. Those 2 resorts do not share privileges at the pools, but walking over and doing eating a meal at the food court is a great idea. And make sure you check out those menus before you go, and you'll be all set.
All right, Rikki, would you switch or no? It's just one night. They want to swim. I get it. They're coming from Canada. A good time to swim. March in Walt Disney World. You still got the 50s and the 80s pools.
Yeah, I really wouldn't change. I would stay there still. I think that it's a much better resort overall. It is my favorite as well. And like I said, the bowling pin pool is awesome. I mean, who doesn't love to swim in a pool shaped like a bowling pin? So I always think it's funny about the computer pool, though, because, it's just a big, giant square. So like that was
it's kind of like the laptop you're looking at. It's all about perspective. You're actually the keyboard. You're looking up at the screen.
No, the key. Yeah, it's just weird to me. But anyway, I would much rather swim in the bowling pin pool myself.
Yeah,
so that's right.
Yeah, we haven't ever spent much time in the 80s pool. I'll be honest. We always go down. There's just like a cool vibe. I mean, it's like you got the gutters on the side and the bowling balls and like the changing rooms of the shoe rack. I love it.
Yeah,
so
that's cool.
All right, next question about Skyliner Crawl. It's from Emily. Hey, BOG family. I will be traveling to Walt Disney World in early November, staying at the Beach Club. It's a girls' trip with my best friend. We're very excited. We want to ride the Skyliner, but obviously don't need it to get to Epcot or Hollywood Studios. Thinking of something fun we could see or eat at Pop and Caribbean Beach that would make it more of like it's about the journey, not the destination kind of feel. Any thoughts? Love listening to your podcast. Thanks for entertaining me on my walks. Thanks, Emily. Remember, Emily, step on a crack, break your mother's back. Watch where you step. All right. Anyway, so they're going to do a Skyliner Crawl. I guess this is going to become a thing, maybe like the monorail.
Yeah, maybe.
You can stop, snack, and maybe drink. Something at Pop Century. Well, Pop Century, obviously, for me, is the tie-dye cheesecake. It's kind of unique, but it's gotten to bring a microscope nowadays. I mean, like it used to be huge. Now it's like round and small. It's not that big. Like I need 2 of them. Maybe it's just that my appetite's gotten larger. I just love these things.
They are tiny. I will admit.
They're a lot smaller than they used to be back in, I feel like such an old timer. Like that's 15 years ago.
Slice of cheesecake. Now it's just like a round little container of cheesecake. It's not the same.
Yeah, we need the wedges back.
Yeah.
Bring back the wedge. Anyway, so Caribbean Beach though has lots of options. I have not been there since the refurb. So Rikki, offer up maybe something different at Pop and something at Caribbean Beach.
All right. Well, at Pop, of course, I mean, the food court there is so fantastic. Brian and I actually had some really good meals while we were there recently. Like their fried chicken is actually really, really good. So you could always get some fried chicken. I'm just saying. And then seriously, I love Caribbean Beach. I think they've done a fantastic job with what they've done. You do have the Center Town Market, which is their food court, but then they also have Sebastian's Bistro, which I think is phenomenal. I really like the food at Sebastian's. They have some great appetizers, like the jerk chicken wings and the pull-apart bread with all the dips that are so yummy. But if you're looking for like maybe drinks or something like that, you do have the Banana Cabana pool bar, which is also really spectacular over at Caribbean Beach. So I really, really, really like Caribbean Beach and what they've done over there. So I think there's a plenty of choices for you to do your Skyliner Crawl. I like that.
I love it. It's the gondola. We need to come with something with a G. The gondola.
Not Gabfest.
It's got to be something with a G that means like to get around.
The gondola gathering. You just
We'll workshop it. All right, Pam. So what else? Like a snack at Pop and a snack at Caribbean Beach.
So I absolutely am gonna say at Caribbean Beach, Sebastian's is fantastic, but Banana Cabana is great too. I agree with Rikki. We've actually eaten at Sebastian's now a few times. I hate to even say that because then I'm worried that it's going to get busy, but the food there is good. Everything we've had there is good. The drinks are good. Appetizers are good. So everything that we've had there is good. They've actually made some new entrees there on the menu. They have a fish and chips, which looks really good. And make sure you try some of the drinks while you're there because they're really good. And the Banana Cabana is actually one of my favorite places that doesn't require a reservation, which I love that. And one of the reasons is, of course, you can see the higher fireworks from illuminations or whatever it may be when you're there. One of the 8 different things that it could be. So definitely give that a shot. I think Pop Century is a good solid food court. One of the things I like about the Pop Century food court is they have a really big refrigerator section, and that means there's lots of different desserts there. So people who have a sweet tooth, guess what? You'll find something. Plus, they also have that little ice cream area at Pop Century too, which is really good. And just lots of different choices. Like Rikki said, they actually have an entree that is sort of on special or the feature of that night each night. So make sure you check that out too.
I remember Scott got a shake there. I think it was called the King at Pop Century. We were staying there one time at Christmas, or maybe it was Marathon Weekend. I can't remember, but it had like bacon in it, like a bacon strip. I mean, I'm talking like little sprinkles. Like it had a slab of bacon in the thing. It was so crazy. You said it was good. All right, we have suggestions coming in from the live chat for the name of the gondola crawl. It's William Heinrich up in Oregon State. Go Beefs. He has the gondola gastronomic gathering.
I like that.
Oh my.
Stephanie's got the gondola glide.
Nice.
Okay.
And another one coming in here, the gondola gallop.
Love
there
it.
You go.
Or the gondola gate.
Love it.
Gondola Gate. That sounds like something bad happened.
That does.
Gondola Gate.
Yeah, you don't want your doctor to tell you. All right, next question. Speaking of new things, Gran Destino activities from Lisa. She's in Dayton, Ohio, and she's 968 miles from Art of Animation and will not drive roughly 2 hours to get a Southwest flight to MCO. So there you go. I says, hi, BOGP podcast team. I just booked my family's trip for June of 2020. Countdown, 268 days to go. It'll be myself, my oldest son, his wife, and 3 kids who are 9, 6, and 2. My daughter-in-law is a high school Spanish teacher and has multiple experiences with travels to Spain and participated in the college exchange program and lived in Mexico. We are really excited to resort hop to see Gran Destino. With it being so new, I haven't seen any resort activities related to the new tower. I'm hoping by the time we go, they will have added either some culinary or even cultural experiences. I would love to tour some of the restaurants and resort just to see the artwork. I would also love to see a wine tasting with tapas and dessert. Knowing you and the team are big fans of the resort, will you update the listeners if they add any such activities? Also, we need Rikki to do a review of the Skyliner from pop to an earlier morning Bon Voyage ADR. Love the podcast, Lisa. All right, Pam. So you stayed at Gran Destino Tower a few times already now. I think these are great suggestions, especially when you consider what Animal Kingdom Lodge offers with the tour of Boma and Jico, kind of that same thing. Totally free tour. And also, kind of immersed in yourself in the culture. What do you think, Pam?
I agree. So I think what is going on here is really that the activities at Coronado are open to all guests, and they're really sort of just focusing on those things. It is a newer resort. I think that they want to make sure that they've hit their stride in terms of service and having everything move, in the right direction. But they do offer some really cool things. At Coronado, they have sort of like a nature walk that is a self-guided thing that you can do.
That's really cool. Right, you can pick it up at the in the gift shop. They have and
I think they have them at the front desk. They might too.
Yeah.
And they just, it's a great location. But I think what I would do if I were you, if you want to spend a little bit of time at Coronado, is go ahead and make your own wine tasting. You can either go up to Dahlia's, and if it's in the evening and it's open, you could go over to Three Bridges and have something out there on the lake. Or you could go to Barcelona. We had drinks there a couple times, and there's some really interesting drinks there. So make sure you try it. You know what's funny is they were very much into gin drinks. They have a lot of different gin drinks, which I'm not really a gin drinker. So this poor bartender, he spent like literally 10 minutes explaining all these things to me. And I looked at him and I'm like, yeah, I don't really drink gin. But thank you. I know. I didn't want to break his heart, but I wasn't going to order one. So I was like, I want this instead. But anyways, they're very knowledgeable there. So if you are into that, absolutely have the conversation there. But yeah, lots of really cool drinks. But anyways, up at Dahlia's, of course, you can have a view of the Hollywood studio fireworks. They do not pipe in the music, but it's fine. Guess what? You can still see the fireworks, and it's really cool. So gonna have to do a little wine stuff on your own.
Plug in your headphones, and when the fireworks start, press play. Yes.
Or just just hum it.
There's that.
Or you
that's not the fireworks.
That's Fantasmic, but I mean you can see Fantasmic too. There's probably like 6 shells in that show, and it's kind of fun. I love I haven't seen Fantasmic in ages, and I love Fantasmic.
You haven't seen it?
I mean, I've seen it a billion times, but I just haven't seen it in so long. It's such a lot of work, but when I go back there, I love that show. That's a good show.
I'm indifferent.
You have to plan to do it.
You do, but it's a good show.
I'm indifferent.
Especially when they come out on the boat at the end. I love that. It's pretty sweet. Anyway, next question, Rikki. This one's going to be up your alley. It says, from Angela Ferguson. I wasn't sure what the best way to get this question is to you, so hopefully this works. Came in through the Facebook page. My question is about the shows at Epcot. Illuminations ends in September, and they're having a temporary show until the new official show begins, correct? What is the date for the new show? How long will the temporary show be in place? We're visiting February 7th through 12th, and it would be neat to be in the window of the temporary show. Thanks, Angela. Good news, right, Rikki? She's going to see
good news. Yeah. So We don't have an official date for Epcot or the beginning of Harmonious, which is the second show that's coming.
Harmonious.
I'm sorry, Harmonious. We don't have the date for that yet. However, I am hearing it's going to be about 9 months or so that they're going to run the Epcot Forever show. So give or take. Again, that's a rumor. And until Disney officially announces a date for Harmonious, keep that as a rumor. But that 9-month window, I think, is a safe bet as of right now. So you're going to be in that 9-month window. Hey, so that sounds good. So you're going to get to see Epcot Forever, more than likely, for sure. So,
you can see Epcot Forever, but not forever for 9 months.
No, I know. And we're all going to like the Epcot Forever show so much. And we're going to say, no, don't get rid of it. It's only been 9 months.
Let's rip it off not one Band-Aid, but 2. It won't be as bad.
Exactly. No, it's still going to be bad.
Brutal. Yeah. All right, next question is titled Excited to Pick a Pearl. I had to check this to make sure it wasn't Paige from when she was 12, because that would have been Paige's email. Anyways, yes. Marie. Let's see here. She is in Massachusetts. Hi, BOGP crew. Love your show, and I learned so much about trip planning from all of your shows. We're headed to Epcot in October, and my daughter would love to do the Pick a Pearl experience in Japan. We may not be there until later in the evening, and I'm wondering if they still offer it later in the day. Thank you in advance and for your help and the magic. Annie in Massachusetts. So Rikki, they do this in the evening. I'm pretty sure I've been in there in the evenings, and they've been doing this even after dinner, like at 8 or 9, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they still do it in the they definitely do it in the evening. I mean, it's in the store, so it's not like it's like not like a real entertainment thing. Like it's actually in the store. So as long as the store is open, they're going to be doing Pick a Pearl. So you're good. Go get your pearl.
It's so fun. Like, even if you don't even do it, like
if you just watch.
I was a sucker and I did it for Paige. Because the thing is, like, she would get these things. Like, she probably has 5 of them. Probably don't know where they are anymore.
No, probably not.
Hardly. Who knows? They made it back in the car back then.
Right. Yeah.
But it's one of those things. It's like the lightsaber, but it's about the experience, right?
Yeah. Yes. That's right. That's right. It's about the experience, Mike. So enjoy your $200 lightsaber.
I've been having a hard time getting a reservation. I had a listener email me just about 2 hours ago saying, I have a reservation for the build a lightsaber if you want it. I'm like, I'm really sad, because I could have at least said I couldn't get a reservation and that bailed me out of not doing it. Now it's like, it's a whole nother level of sweat that I got on my forehead. I really want to do this, but I'm going to come walking back in from a fun weekend at Walt Disney World while my wife has been working all week. I come strolling in with a lightsaber that costs $200, and she knows it's $200. So it's like,
well, that was your fault for telling her that it was $200.
I mean, I'm sitting here yelling it out in the house. She probably hears it. And so, and she's not dumb either. So she knows Disney. She's been going there just as much as I have. She always goes with me, and she knows things are not $10. Like,
I swear I paid $10 for this lightsaber.
I ain't pulling the wool over her eyes on this one. And I mean, it's like, how much do I value my life when I get back on that Wednesday after school?
That's a good question, Mike. How much do you value your marriage?
All of it. I mean, test. Divorced and dead. So
yes, there you go.
And shout out to Jack Henry checking in, watching us live on Facebook with Jennifer. So hey,
what's up, Jack Henry? Yay!
All right, so we have another question here. It's about the Princess Half Marathon weekend for non-runners.
Oh,
it's from Megan. Hi, Mike, Rikki, and Pam. We have reservations at both Pop Century and Caribbean Beach for our upcoming trip over the Princess Half Marathon weekend, Friday, February 21st to Wednesday, February 26th. But we're not running. We chose these dates because we're from New Orleans. We'll have Monday and Tuesday off for Mardi Gras. We have a family of 4 with kids aged 4 and 1. We're also planning a July 2020 trip, so we don't feel pressured to pack in a lot on this trip. Our interests are a half or whole day at each park, including seeing Festival of the Arts before it ends that Monday. Which days would you hit each park to avoid race crowds? Also, any thoughts on Pop versus Caribbean Beach for this particular weekend? Currently, there is a $75 a night difference, and we'll make our final decision before 30 days out. Is there enough room for a pack and play in the Pop rooms without feeling like we're on top of each other? Thank you for your advice, and thank you for bringing some Disney magic into my life 3 days a week, Megan. All right, so let's boil it down to the Princess Half Marathon weekend, as well as most race weekends at Walt Disney World, are focused around Epcot. Everything's going to happen in the Epcot parking lot, and the 10K is going to happen in the Epcot resort area and the park. The half marathon will go from Epcot to the Magic Kingdom and back to Epcot, but it doesn't have a huge impact on the Magic Kingdom. So I would say as long as you are steering clear of Epcot on Friday super early in the morning, that's going to clear out because Friday's the
10K.
10K. No,
Friday's
5K. In a race. Is there 5K?
Right. No, 5K. Yeah.
That's right. There is a 5K.
Yeah.
My weekends all mixed up. Yeah.
Sorry,
so
I was getting you confused with a marathon weekend. Yeah.
So Friday morning is going to clear out really quickly. So by the time you head Epcot, most likely on Friday, everything's going to be good. Saturday and Sunday going to be a little bit more dicey, but if you're going to Epcot, say after 11 o'clock in the morning, no impact at all.
Yeah.
Sunday will have impacts at Epcot until say noon, and then you're probably clear. The other parks are going to be fine. You just got to watch transportation going to the Magic Kingdom on Sunday with the half marathon. They will close some of the roads going down to the park and back. But I would steer clear. I would try to do like Animal Kingdom or the studios on Sunday. And other than that, as long as you're not going there first thing, you're going to be good, I think. Rikki, is that a good plan?
I think that's a great plan. Now, the other thing you want to look out for is because you're going, I'm guessing, to avoid Mardi Gras. I'm guessing that's when Mardi Gras weekend actually is. It's going to be really crowded at Disney that weekend because a lot of people have the same idea of avoiding Mardi Gras. So just know that. So in addition to people avoiding the crowds for that, you're going to have the half marathon crowds. So crowds might be a little heavier than you were anticipating. Just a warning.
And I'm sure you'll have on your purple and gold. It's like LSU everywhere. It's like LSU threw up on everything, basically. That week. What about the other question, Pam? The Pop Century or Caribbean Beach, $75 a night difference. What do you look at for that choice?
So when I'm trying to decide which resort I'm going to stay at, and even which category of Disney resort, because you have values, moderates, deluxe, and deluxe villa resorts, what I'm thinking about is how much time am I going to be spending at the resort, right? How much time am I going to be spending using the amenities like the pool? Is a slide important to me? I mean, for some families, slide is make or break. Truly, truly. And I understand that because you spend time at the pool. You want there to be something for the kids to really enjoy or the adults. So that's really important. Some people, a table service restaurant is slam dunk, something that's really important to them because they don't want to have to go other places. They want to be able to come back to the resort and have a table service meal. So you're looking really at moderates and deluxes for that. In particular, every moderate except for French Quarter, which shares the table service with Riverside. So that's what I'm thinking about. And I'm also thinking about, do I want a resort that has a lot of recreation opportunities? For sure. Now, the thing that you specifically mentioned was the size of the room. It can make a difference sometimes, especially when you have a pack and play in there. I know what you mean, like when you say, am I going to be stepping over it? And it's hard because I think in any room, no matter how big it is, you almost feel like you're stepping into it, right? The reason why I feel like sometimes the values have sort of a leg up on that is there is a spot sort of in that vanity area where I feel like a pack and play sort of fits well. And you can close like the doors or the curtains or something like that. Now, there is something like that a little bit in the value resorts, but it isn't quite like it is in the moderate resorts. So consider that and just consider how much time you're going to spend in the room and things like that. I know when you have littler ones, sometimes you're in the room a lot more because you got to sort of keep them on their schedule. And that sort of allows you to do that.
And Pop Century has those beds that I call the Shin Buster 2000s. Like, is it just Pop Century? But like when I go to Pop Century, and I'll be there again in 2 weeks, I need to remember to pack Paige's old shin guards from high school soccer or my like old hockey shin guards that I played. Because like every time I'm in that room, there's something about like, it's like an optical illusion. Like, but I walk into the bed frames or like the edges and they hurt so bad. Like there's something about them that brings you to like buckle. I mean, damn, if you hit those, there's no joke.
I know what you're talking about for sure. It's just the edge of the bed. It sort of sticks out a little bit more than the actual mattress. So yeah, I know what you mean. But I think for you, Mike, because you're taller, it's like further away. Maybe I don't know why. So you're particularly susceptible to it. Maybe.
I'm blind. I mean, I start screaming like South Carolina scored a touchdown on Mizzou when I hit my shin. So anyway, all right. Karen's got a question in the live chat. Says, hi, Mike, Rikki, and Pam. My husband, 2 daughters who are 16 and 11, and I are staying at Beach Club Resort standard room for 8 days in July of 2020. We'll be using the regular Disney dining plan for our length of stay. My sister wants to join us for 2 nights. We should be able to add her to the room as it sleeps 5. However, can I just add her as a guest but not have her on our meal plan? We would just like to pay for her meals out of pocket. Also, do I make sure she has the same fast pass times as us? She is a huge Star Wars fan, so we plan to spend all of her time with us at Hollywood Studios. Thank you in advance for your words of wisdom, Karen. And we even have wisdom, even though Rikki is missing a wisdom tooth.
I'm missing wisdom today. I'm just saying, I'm missing wisdom today.
So the bad news is, Karen, so if you add your friend, let's see, who are we adding? Your sister to the plan. She is going to be on there and she's going to be on the dining plan just like the rest of you. Unfortunately, you can't just like have a dining plan for one guest in the room and not everybody else. Everybody has to be on the same plan, same tickets. Been a rule for Disney for years. So really that's kind of the deal. Pam, any suggestions? And also remember with fast passes, Galaxy's Edge does not have fast passes at this moment. Who knows in July? It could be good. These things are obviously possibly going to change, probably going to change. But right now, there's no fast passes in Galaxy's Edge. So, man, what would you suggest for Karen? Because she's looking, I get it. She wants to have some fun with her sister.
So you can add someone as a day guest. And that's something that you would have to do at the resort. You're not able to do it in advance, which means that that guest will not have access to things like Disney's Magical Express transportation from the airport, and they will not be able to make fast passes at 60 days out, just like you're able to do because you're staying at the resort. Now, when you add a day guest, if you already have, let's say, 2 adults in the room and you add a day guest, first of all, you have to not go over room capacity, which you said you aren't going to do. But when you add another adult, they absolutely will charge you for the extra adult for those nights that she will be there. So those will be, the charge for those things. If you want to have her there the whole time, though, like Mike said, you absolutely have to have everyone on the same package, and then she would be able to get the fast passes at the same time that you do. There's really no trick in matching out fast passes when some people can make them 60 days in advance and some can make them 30. At the 30-day mark, you're really just going to have to try again to see what's available essentially for the days that she will be there. So it's not quite as easy, but it's not doable. It's just that you have to do a little finagling for that. So.
All right. Daniel's got a question in the live Facebook chat. Again, we record most Mondays around 5:45 Eastern. So come by and join us. So suggestions for quick service lunch near the Magic Kingdom. He has the midday magic tickets. It looks like. I would say in the Magic Kingdom, Columbia Harbor House, love it. I know it's like broken record. Outside of the Magic Kingdom, I might go to Captain Cook's. Rikki, what about you? I took yours.
Well, you stole mine, so thanks a lot. So definitely Captain Cook's. Or you can consider maybe the Wave if you're looking for something table service. The Wave is really good.
Or the bar lounge if it's open. I guess it would
that's
be
true.
Would it?
Oh, wait. What the?
Probably not.
I don't know.
Hey, what place we ate that night? It was really good, but is that open in the afternoon?
What is it?
The Wave Lounge.
Oh, the Wave Lounge. Yeah. I don't know that you might have to order from the bartender, but it's there. The other thing though you could do is absolutely Geyser Point.
Yes.
Yeah. Go there. I know that's the correct
excellent
answer,
choice.
right?
Yeah, that is the correct answer.
Yes, it has all her wisdom teeth, Pam Forrest.
Yes, I got dumber, definitely, and Pam got my wisdom. Yes.
The thing is, I just wanted to warn everyone is they have been much more strict in terms of, so I don't know if you're driving or using Disney transportation, but in terms of letting you park at any of the resorts that are in the Magic Kingdom area, they're asking for you to actually have an advanced dining reservation. You can't just roll up and be like, I'm going to shop or I'm going to eat at quick service. They're actually looking for that. So keep that in mind. The
problem is that Geyser Point doesn't have the ability to make the dining
I know.
So you have kind of a catch-22, right? Yeah.
So what you would have to do then is park in the Magic Kingdom parking lot at the TTC and then take the boat from the Magic Kingdom over to the Wilderness Lodge. And that's easy peasy to do. If that's where you're going to end up anyways, and you're coming in from off site or doing that, it's easier for most cases to park at the TTC and then go from that point. So
just don't be starving when you get on there, because it's going to take a while.
It is going to take
That's
a while.
true.
It's going to be an adventure.
And just know, right now, I don't know if a lot of people know, but right now they are doing some major construction work to the front of the Magic Kingdom, like the TTC. So the tram is actually not taking you very far right now. You actually have to walk, like, you know, that where you go under the water with the tram. Well, right now you actually have to walk that. They're dropping you off well before you get to that point. So just know it's kind of a frustration. I get it, but they are working on making the tram section better. But right now it's just kind of a frustration, and they've been working on that for a while. So just know, I don't know when that's going to finish, when the work will be completed, but as of right now, they are definitely, it's definitely a little bit of a pain point. So. Yeah.
All right, let's get to the last question of the day. It's from Michael Schilling in the live Facebook chat. He says, 3 weeks until Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party. What are the biggest tips for getting there early with a 6 and 3-year-old, and what things can you get done on the early end of the night? So again, party, technically you can get in at 4. Party starts at 7. So when all the good stuff starts happening, I get it. You have kids 6 and 3, the night can get late, and they're going to be better and fresher earlier. I'll give one suggestion. If I say trick or treat early, like go to every station for the first couple hours, because I think that's what 6 and 3-year-olds are going to love. So I say trick or treat, and get pictures too, because, as kids get tired, they get crabby, and the pictures will be hilarious later towards the end of the night, but they might not be the best pictures, but those could probably be the ones you'll remember forever. So I would say trick or treat and pictures. Pam, what about you for early in the party for kind of the younger squad?
So I'm going to be like, make sure that you get a spot to see the early parade if you don't think you'll be around for the late parade, because the parade is one of the fun things that happens during the party. And make sure it's not too far away from Main Street so that you can get yourself there to see the fireworks too. The fireworks in the parade actually take up a fair amount of the party time when you really think about it. So you want to make sure, and that first parade and the start of the fireworks are usually fairly close to each other, sort of relatively, as they, as you look at how everything's going to work for the night. So make sure that you can get yourself to Main Street where you can see the fireworks well.
All right, Rikki, final tip.
So because they have the little ones, I'm going to suggest that they eat before they get to the party, or if they don't eat before they get to the party, at least make sure that's the first thing they do when they get to the park. I know you're going to be wanting to rear and to ride the rides and stuff like that, but seriously, it's such a headache to get food at Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party, like actual food, because a lot of the restaurants close, once the party starts. So you definitely want to make sure, and that way, if you eat before you get to the park, then you don't have to worry about wasting any party time. And maybe grab a snack later while you're there. But yeah, I would definitely make sure that you eat something either right when you get to the park or before.
Hundo P, agree with that one. You like that? Is that pretty hip?
Maybe 10 years ago it might have been.
Yeah, exactly.
I heard that on PSA during the football game this past weekend. It's Hundo P.
I keep it 100. So
see, it was a PSA, so it is probably old. They're not. Anyway, that's going to do it for today's show. Hopefully you enjoyed it. We had a lot of fun talking all kinds of Disney topics.
Did we?
I love talking with our listeners and interactions. This is awesome. So anyway, today's show brought to you by our friends over at virtualmickey.com, home of great iPhone apps like Theme Park News, Disney Edition. Rikki, what are we reading about on the free iOS app that's going to look great on the iPhone 11 today?
Yes. Okay. So for the first time in a very, 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 very long time, Disney's Animal Kingdom is getting in on the New Year's Eve fun. So throughout the night, you'll get to enjoy special food and beverage, because you have to have special themed food and beverage, right? And you will get not one, not two, but 3 dance parties you can go to. I'm sorry, but how many dance parties do you actually need?
Look, people love a dance party.
I don't understand how many dance. You have not one, not two, but 3 at dance parties. I'm just saying. Okay?
There may or may not be videos of Elizabeth, Jocelyn, and I performing in the boardwalk lobby.
It's true. You definitely need a dance party. There's also yes, I'm going to move on. There's also going to be special pin trading opportunities. So if you're a pin trader, you're going to want to go here. There's also a limited edition pin. And as midnight approaches, you can head to either Discover Island or Asia to watch the special New Year's Eve countdown on the Tree of Life, welcoming in 2020. So
wow. Well, on New Year's Eve, there have to be dance parties, Rikki.
I mean,
oh yes, yeah, totally. That's seriously. That's why I love Epcot. It's just a big old dance party from country to country.
That's true. That's a good point. I just think it's funny. It's at Animal Kingdom, and they're like throwing down the dance party.
My favorite thing about the dance,
you're going to play like Walk the Dinosaur. You know,
yeah, that's going to play several times. My favorite thing about the dance party, though, is seeing the kids who are super into it.
Oh yeah,
it's like that's the best. You're just like, whoa, that kid.
Not just the kids, Pam. You know, the adults are definitely included on that. The ones who
good question though. Will they have noisemakers? I mean, you think?
Ooh.
I mean, if you're having dance parties and you're there till midnight, I think they're saying animals, you just got to deal with it for one night. I think.
I doubt they'll have noisemakers.
The giraffes are already like around 6 o'clock. The giraffes are by that gate. They're like,
hello, let us go home. It's night time.
I guess I'm a giraffe. At 9 o'clock, I'm ready to hit the sack. I'm like, I'm done.
You're as tall as a giraffe, Mike. So
it's my spirit animal.
Too funny.
Anyway, it's going to do it for today's show. So check it out over at Theme Park News Disney Edition, free iOS app at virtualmickey.com. Please use our Amazon affiliate link, beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. We appreciate that so very much. Give us a follow on the social. We're on Instagram and Twitter at BeOurGuestPod and at BeOurGuestMike. And we've got a great Facebook page at facebook.com/BeOurGuestPodcast. Again, one more time, see you out in Indy this Saturday. If you're anywhere in the continental United States, come on out, meet us. We're going to have a good time raising money for Give Kids the World, Noblesville, Indiana, this Saturday, September 21st. For the Indy Disney Meet. All right, time to get out of here. We'll be back again on Friday. I think you're going to really enjoy Friday's show. Kind of looking back and looking forward at the same time with Walt Disney World. A lot of fun talking about that stuff. So for Rikki and Pam, I'm Mike, wishing you a great Wednesday. Time to head back to work, and we'll see you real soon. All right, let's go. Let me save that one. Episode.
Dance party.
What up? I'm sorry.
There's always some dance parties.
There is always a dance party. Oh my God.
There is. Okay, here we go.
Okay. Well, that was fun.
That was fun.
We need to have more dance parties with our podcast.
We do. Well, I mean, if we haven't played, if you just give us one of them, like we can be like back in like Harambe.
Yes.
And like if you give me enough margaritas, like we could start stacking like those guys do in the middle of
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't want to become compared to the folks that usually dance there. No, thank you.
Climb up my back and you get on my shoulders. It would look like an SEC cheer squad.
Yeah.
I think that we won't get invited to do that.
No.
I'll be screaming at New Year's Eve when we're banned from a bowl. We can't play.
We're gonna need to do like we're gonna have to get a choreographer if we're gonna be leading the dance party.
I'm all in. It's like those father-daughter dances at weddings, like where they just like it's all like, oh, we gotta watch the old guy dance with his daughter, and all of a sudden they bust out they're like, oh. I'll totally want to do that when one of my other girls gets married. So
we'll do some line dancing, of course. Pull out wedding favorites all the time. And then we'll have our own little bit of choreography that we have worked on tirelessly. So I think Disney should reach out to us. I think that we're definitely entertainment opportunities.
We've got something here. Yes.
Something.
Hashtag bring back Brooks and Dunn. All right. I hope they're still. I think one of them actually passed away. I want to say.
No, they're still alive. That was a different band. That was Montgomery Gentry.
Oh yeah. Under the neon moon.
No, that's not Montgomery Gentry.
No, Brooks and Dunn. I
know that's Brooks and Dunn. You goober.
Neon Moon it filled the dance floor every time. Dude, there's certain songs. Dance floor is empty. Neon Moon. Boom. Full. That's all you had to do.
Wow.
And you had to do Boot Scoot and Boogie, which I hated. And then Man, I Feel Like a Woman by Shania Twain.
See, we don't. I will just say that those are not the songs that play here typically.
I'm saying we're in the Midwest, man. And this was the 90s. This one was like any Garth Brooks song. I'm shameless because I'm loving you. Anyway, there we go. All right, so we're gonna
Mike could sing and dance.
Yes, let's go with that. Yeah.
That's it. All right, here we go. Let's see here. All right, 1540. Holy smokes.
Oh man, that's crazy.
Here we go. Welcome to episode 1540 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel and on Interstate 70 headed east to Indianapolis, Indiana. This is the road trip show. I know lots of folks are heading to central Indiana, so safe travels. Keep it at 10 and 2 and keep it between the lines. And we'll see you tomorrow, Saturday at the Indy Disney Meet to raise money for Give Kids the World. Come by the table, say hello, be a part of a podcast recording. We're going to be on the main stage, and Mizzou is playing USC, South Carolina. So I will be either very happy or grumpy, but wear black and gold and give me an MIZ, and we'll be friends forever. All right, we're going to have a good time today talking some Disney, Walt Disney World, looking back, looking forward. Just some fun Disney talk to get you through this Friday. Even if you're not coming to the meet, we need to get you ready for the weekend. So joining me today from a DisneyWorldAfterAll.com, touringplans.com, and the Mouse for Less, we have Rikki. Rikki's taking a bird to Indy while the rest of us are driving. So what's up, Rikki?
I am getting on a plane later on tonight so that I can head up to Indy. So I'm very excited. I love getting to go to Indy for the Indy Disney Meet. It's one of my favorite things I do each and every year. So super excited to be able to raise money for Give Kids the World because that is the most important thing that happens at the Indy Disney Meet. So make sure you got your wallets. I've got mine. In my instance, it's my credit card. And get ready to spend some money all for a good cause.
And you'll come home with random stuff like in the auctions. Like last year, I think we came home with a R2D2 air popcorn popper.
Nice.
And also we have a crock pot that's Pixar. It's got all the
awesome. Yeah. See, I still have one of my cool things. It is an Osborne Spectacle of Dancing Lights light bulb that I may or may not have tried to keep people from bidding on.
Rikki was yes, she was like using a body block. I think that's why they had to go to online auction.
Absolutely.
Rikki was the cause, I think.
I was.
We found out Noblesville's finest. Had to, just
that's right.
That's right. All right. Also joining us, we have the co-owner of the Pam, the Pam for Less.
Pam for Less.
I'm not paying for that ad read.
So I was trying to decide. You're going to be driving west. So we'll see you there at Indy. What's up?
Right. We are driving west. Go west, young man. Both Steve and Hannah are joining me on the trek across whatever. So yes, I know. So I'm glad to have them with me. But yes, we are coming in. Can't wait. I have been thinking about what I want to have happen here at this meet, thinking about trying to remember all the things I need to bring. Of course, I have notes and lists and like everything. My Google Keep is crazy. It's just like nuts. So anyways, but we've shopped, we've done all we can, we've ordered, we're ready. So looking forward to it. It's always great to have the opportunity, first of all, to see people that we know in person, right? To get to see them again, but to get to meet people that we haven't had the chance to meet.
It's the best.
When they come up and say, like, I listen to the podcast, that's so rewarding to get to do. First of all, I think that all three of us at different times are sort of pinching ourselves that anyone listens to us. Right. Because we can't even get our family members to do that. So that's kind of cool.
First thing before I even check my inbox, I just make sure somebody downloaded the show again. I'm like, yes, thank you.
I know, right? Here we are. We've been doing this for a long time. We're up to 1,500 some shows. Yep. And what? That's craziness. Yep. So anyways, it's really just so rewarding that we provide some kind of entertainment or education or I don't know.
Stupidity. I don't know.
So we hope that we bring some joy out into the world. That's our main goal in this thing. And you all bring so much to us just by listening and interacting with us. So looking forward to seeing some of you.
Yeah, Hundo P. Can't wait to meet everybody in Indy. It's going to be fun.
Stop.
Bringing it back.
That sounds like the dude from Galaxy's Edge.
I haven't done there yet. Stop.
Hundo P.
Hundo P.
Not yet.
It's not
Maybe
a,
that's his Twitter handle.
That could be,
no.
yeah.
That could be it. Yeah.
Okay, here we go. So today, and again, I get my greatest podcast of topic ideas on my morning runs at 4:45 when it's still dark, and I'm wondering if that snake is going to be on the path. Not today. Yesterday it was a snapping turtle that I almost stepped on.
Oh, that's good.
The day before, 6 deer, six of them came strolling down our street to get a drink out of the lake. So
nice.
I tell Pam, I've totally changed zip codes, Rikki.
Yes.
It's crazy. We don't live that far out in the country. I'm not like it's like I'm in like, Poplar Bluffs or anything, but there are wildlife where I live. There is wildlife, I should say. Anyway,
yeah,
so
there are.
Grammarly.com is not bringing you this show. So anyway,
dude, they should.
So I've been thinking about these changes. Like I was listening to 3028, I was listening to Wedway, I was listening to some other Disney podcasts.
So basically the Matt Parrish,
Matt Parrish yeah. So anyway, like I'm just thinking, all these changes happening at Epcot. I'm going down next week for the last Illuminations, first Epcot forever, and I'm going to ride the Skyliner. It's my 3 main goals. I'll see Galaxy's Edge as well. But I just like, if you would have told me like 10 or 15 years ago that Innovations building will be gone. Like it just will not exist. I'd have been like, you're crazy. Mm-hmm. If you'd have told me the Fountain of Nations,
I know, right?
Won't be there. Totally gone. Bulldozing. I'd be like, you're crazy. Like, what are you talking about? That's like the center of Epcot. Not happening. But these things are happening. So today I thought we'd kind of reflect back on things from the last 10 or 15 years on our vacations. That if somebody would have come up to you and said, you know what? Not going to be here in 2019. You'd have been like, man, you're so crazy that you need to go over to Universal. Get out of here. That's not happening. And then we're also going to talk kind of at the end of the show about things that we think maybe in 10 years, in a decade, that may be missing from Walt Disney World that like kind of unbelievable if you think about it today, but maybe we'll give some justification as to why possibly those things could go away. So Pam, as we start off, like 10 or 15 years ago, what is something that if somebody would have come up to you and said, this thing, it's just not going to be here in 2019, 2020. And you'd have been like, whatever. So what comes to your mind first when you think of that? So
although it's not my feelings about this that make me think that, that it was going to stay around for a while. It's not that I was super entertained by it, but it was the fact that it was newer. There was lots of money put into it. The lights, motors, action thing, thing disappeared fairly quickly in the whole realm of Disney attractions and shows and whatnot. I mean, it was a huge people eater of a show. Mm-hmm. I swear it could like envelop half the people that were in Hollywood studios at any one time, right?
Yes.
Of course, it did feel like you were sort of sitting on the sun out there as you watched at different times, right? But that I went to the media event for that. We had the travel agency open for a while during that time. I got to go and see it and all of that. I never would have thought it would have gone as quickly as it did. Now, having said that, I watched it maybe the first, during the media event and maybe 1 or 2 other times. And then I was like, oh my gosh. Okay. So I see why it's gone, but
I've told the story about how the first time I watched it, Brian actually fell asleep. So
he's like a NASCAR guy. Like that's
exactly. This is like his lane, right? Like I took him because I thought he was going to enjoy it because it was about cars and he was into NASCAR and all that stuff. Right. And like legit, the dude fell asleep in the stands. So yikes.
My biggest memory from this one is probably when they used to have I think it was a Tower of Terror 10 miler. You ran across the stage like during the race. Like that was part of the course. Like you ran across where the cars went. So my best memories, I'm looking, they had a camera like they do during the races. Like, so you can see yourself up on the Jumbotron, but it's like delayed. Like you're like, where's the camera? Like you see people. So you're like you're running, but you're looking up at the big screen waving. I tripped.
No.
I was looking to the side, like I'm waving to the big screen, like, when am I going to be on? This happens at ESPN, Wide World of Sports during the marathon too. And so you're like, yeah. I hit a crack and broke my mom's back. So
Nice.
when
Nicely
that's the
done.
best memory of an attraction, that's not saying much. So
Oh my gosh.
yeah, that is interesting. I think it was on loan from France, and I think they called us on the loan after the last few years and said,
No kidding.
you no longer get lights motor action. All right.
Right?
I guess
So Rikki, what else? Like somebody comes up to you, 10, 15 years ago and says, this is going away. You're like, get out of here. Not happening.
I mean, I still can't believe it's gone. And that is it's a great movie ride. I mean, like that was the definition of the park. I mean, that ride was what Disney's Hollywood Studios, originally Disney MGM's, was about. Like that's what it was. It was about these movies. It was about telling these stories of what these movies have done with history and how they're important and why they're important. And I've gone back and watched some of these movies because of the Great Movie Ride. So the fact that, yes, of course, the audio animatronics were a little dated and Sigourney Weaver's face looked a little plasticky and just a little off after a while there, but it still was what the park was about to me. So the fact that they took it out, and I know we're getting Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, and that's going to be a phenomenal attraction. Don't get me wrong. I know it's going to be a great attraction, but the fact of the matter is they took something that was so what I interpreted Disney to be, which was this big audio animatronic spectacle. I mean, you had the cast members who were part of the story and they were, spieling, and then you had the twist in the middle. And like, this is what Disney was to me. And, I know Disney has changed overall over the past 10, 15 years as to what is Disney, IP, but that's what Disney is, no original stories. So, that's kind of what Disney is now, which I get, I understand. It doesn't make me happy, but, the fact that they took out Great Movie Ride, which was the staple of the park, just absolutely floored me. So,
and I think along those same lines, Alfred in our live chat here on Facebook's mentioning the backstage, the magic tour that you used to be able to do, or not backstage magic, but the
backstage backlight tour. Yeah.
Used to do. And it's funny because all three of these things are at the studios initially as we're talking about this. And that was kind of the heart, but I think it was both of those things are kind of the transformation of Disney's Hollywood Studios, even all three of them, because they were about the process of making movies and kind of the behind the scenes stuff. But as times change, probably, I mean, we always say this, but it is so true. Times are changing so fast nowadays that things have moved over to CGI, and there's not a lot to watching a movie being made. It's like watching me sitting here typing on a computer or doing CGI on a desktop. I mean, it's not like the big elaborate sets and I mean, there is live action going on. They got to capture stuff, but it's not what it was 10, 15, 20 years ago. So I get it, but it is kind of sad to see it. Great points, both. Mine is going to be, it's kind of an Epcot Magic Kingdom thing, and it's a nighttime parade, especially at the Magic Kingdom. Like when I was falling in love with Walt Disney World, early 2000s, the thing was every night we closed out the Magic Kingdom and we did Epcot the same way with a parade and fireworks. It was just like, that was Walt Disney. Like that was the formula for your Disney, vacation every night was you went and you saw fireworks and you saw a parade at the end of the evening. Now the studio is a little bit different with like Fantasmic and some fire, that was your fireworks and show kind of thing combined. But I mean, especially at Epcot with Tapestry of Nations, Tapestry of Dreams, and then Illuminations. And then you had, Spectral Magic or Main Street Electrical Parade and Wishes or some kind of a fireworks show. I mean, that was just like it was so formulaic. Like you ride the rides all day, you have your good times, you make your memories, you get around, and then you slow down at the end of the night, watch fireworks and see a nighttime parade that lights up the magic. I mean, it's magical. Spectral Magic and the music. That was a summer night for me. And like, if you'd have told me that the Magic Kingdom will not have a nighttime parade, I'd have been like, you're crazy. Like that's the essence of your Disney vacation. So Pam, what do you think about that? I mean, I still can't believe there's still not a nighttime parade at Magic. I get it because of logistics, but I still can't believe they don't have one.
So I think for me too, the thing that has taken the place of the parade is really the projection show that they do in the castle. I realize it's not quite the same thing, but the good thing about that is when they redid that hub area of the Magic Kingdom, having the projection show means that you can still have a lot of people there and it doesn't disrupt the flow of the park. before, the nighttime parade actually caused a lot of traffic issues when it came to that. And you heard the complaints from lots of people, like we were trying to get out and we couldn't, or whatever, we were trying to get in and we couldn't. It really used to just stop that area. Now they've sort of made that less of an issue and still offered the opportunity to have another nighttime thing. So I think that could be or play into some of the thinking into that. I really love, though, the Castle Projection Show. I think it offers not only a really good show with great music too, but I think it offers you the opportunity in our Instagrammable world to get really cool pictures of the castle with the projections on them. It totally transforms the castle. It's looking like a Cheshire cat, or it's looking like something from Tangled, or it's looking like the house and the balloons from Up. I think that's a really cool feature, but I get what you're saying about the parade for sure.
So let me ask both of you this. I mean, there's no right or wrong answer, but if you had to, if Disney gave you the choice, you get the projection show or you get a nighttime parade, which one you, Pam, what would you pick if they asked you?
I may pick the projection show just because of the thing that I offered. I think that it offered to me some of the projection shows over the year, and I like the current one they have right now. It really offers a chance for an emotional connection, and I really enjoy that. And it doesn't, it doesn't block up the park quite so much. So.
And it can be much more dynamic. They can change it a lot easier, update it.
Exactly. They can add new movies easier. They can incorporate new things. I mean, I realize that more than people who are my age go to Walt Disney World, right? And I want other people to fall in love with it the way I did. And I think one of the ways that you do that is by keeping it fresh and involving those people in those things.
Good point. Hey, I love the projection shows. Don't get me wrong, because they're very emotional. When they show like Walt on the castle, I mean, just like, it's like he needs to be there. That's an easy way to do it. What about you, Rikki? If you had the choice, if they said you can have one or the other, but not both, projection show, nighttime parade. I know you're not a big parade person. What do you say?
I'm not, and I'm not like a big nighttime projection show person either. So like, it's really hard for me to pick one, because if I were to choose, I probably would choose neither. But I know that one.
No heart, man. No.
I know, right? Yeah, this is like yikes. Bad Disney fan. No. So I guess if I was gonna choose one, though, I think Pam made actually decent arguments for having the projection show, just because, like,
I made decent arguments, Mike. Did you hear that? Decent. They were decent. Not good, just some decent ones.
It's those AT&T commercials where like, I'm okay at being a travel agent. I'm not great at it. No, I'm okay. I'm average.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
Is that like a backhanded comment?
Just okay. Yeah, go ahead.
That's too funny.
No, it is. No, no, I don't know. Like, I don't love either. So I would be fine if there was. I like the fireworks. I think the fireworks are like, get rid of those, and that's to me the thing that they should never get rid of. But I mean, if they got rid of the nighttime projection show, I mean, okay. And clearly if they've already gotten rid of the parade, so again, I'm kind of like, okay. I have no real opinion.
Tapestry of Nations and Illuminations was the perfect ending in the perfect park. I know that it's too crowded to do it now, because it did clog up the World Showcase promenade. But
I mean, legit, the only parade I like is Boo to You. So that's the only one I like.
But I'm just saying, Tapestry of Nations with those rotating drums. Oh,
I never saw it in person.
Oh, it was awesome, man. That parade was so cool. Those big puppets that would come. Oh, man. Oh, God. That was so great. Anyway, that's because, you know what? I think here's the thing. I think when you first start falling in love with Walt Disney World, that is like your jam no matter what. Like, because that was
true.
Retro Magic. But I mean, I still think that's like the golden age for Walt Disney. But I wasn't there like any, that was like when it was just, I mean, it still is everything to me. But I mean, I was so obsessed, so obsessed at that point. It was just like I couldn't think of anything else. All right, Pam. So give us something else let's do one more thing each that you just can't believe. 10 years ago, it's going to go away, and you couldn't believe that it is actually happening.
So for me, and this is something that goes back a bit, but it's something that you just always thought were going to be there, and it's seriously the yellow ponchos.
Oh yeah,
right?
Rubber ducky.
Yes.
I mean, everyone, it would rain and poof, everyone had a yellow poncho on. It was like they fell down from the sky right onto you. You had them, and let me tell you, those were durable ponchos.
Yes, they
like
were.
you could bring them back subsequent trips because they were still in good shape. They were seriously the thickness of absolutely, like, remember the old vinyl shower curtain like thickness?
Yep.
Like they were thick like that, really and truly. So it was just a sea of them. And then they've switched a lot over the years. They had like incarnations, like at Animal Kingdom, they would have a brown one that had Safari Mickey on the back and different ones. And then they went to, I think they're just a plain Mickey at this point.
Mickey with the castle and then all the Disney parks listed, because they literally sell this poncho at every park and every Disney resort around the world.
They do. So, but there was just something about the yellow one that was just so classically Disney. And I just remember it happening, and you'll die because we've kind of been going through. I found one sealed in the package.
Oh my gosh.
In the package. Yeah. So anyways, I have that in one of the boxes of stuff I have downstairs. But so they were just good ponchos. Now, I'm not a poncho fan. I think it's like your own little personal sauna. Yeah. So I don't like them at all. I'm an umbrella person, and I'm sorry, there are people who get mad about the umbrellas. I'm just like, can you simmer down a little bit, because I have to have the umbrella.
Exactly.
So just move on with your life. We'll all get through this together.
Sister, because I'm with you 100%. Yes.
But still, the ponchos, those yellow ponchos, man, that meant Disney. So
Joanne still got 3 of those things. She calls them.
There you go.
I did hear that those things are rated to withstand a Category 3 hurricane.
I'm sure.
Absolutely. At least a Category 3. I've seen them withstand a 5. So, but yes, they're rated for a Category 3. So they're always under promising and over delivering, even in the poncho world.
Those things, they were durable, because I remember, because we drive all the time, and like you'd wear it, and then like it would stop raining, you'd try to shake them off, and fold them back up.
Of course you did
back then, but then we got home and forgot about them, and like they'd be moldy, so you sprayed them off and used them again. Whatever.
Yikes.
No.
Oh God. Well, he probably did. He probably did. Yeah.
All right, Rikki, what's one other thing you can't believe? That's a good one. The rubber ducky ponchos.
That is a good one. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to kind of play on this one just for a second. It's something that I can't believe has happened. So back 10 years ago, Avatar came out in theaters, right? And so like it was this big cultural phenomenon, whatever. Everybody's going to see the movie in theaters. I didn't, but whatever. And then Disney announces that Avatar is coming to the parks. And, we all were like, huh? Because at that point, Avatar wasn't really a thing anymore. Like nobody cared. So like, I can't believe that 10 years later, that Pandora, the world of Avatar, is so popular at Disney's Animal Kingdom as it is, and that Flight of Passage has the wait times that it does continuously 2.5 years later, still has ridiculously long wait times. Navi River Journey still has ridiculously long wait times. Like, I can't believe that this attraction, this land, actually was oddly enough, like this huge success. And, based off this movie that, came out in 2009, like, that's one of those things that floors me, is like, I can't believe it worked. So that's my, like, I can't believe it. Like 10 years ago, if you'd have told me that this land based off this movie that nobody cares about anymore is going to be this huge thing in Disney's Animal Kingdom, I would have laughed in your face. And I did. Yes.
And that's kind of the cool thing about, we've done this show for now almost 11, we started in 2008. So, over 10 years, 11 years. And the thing is, like, we can go back to where Disney made this announcement,
Yes. And you'll hear us be like, what the?
Everything's, the plants are going to glow at night, and there's going to be a boat ride, and we're putting in Animal Kingdom. It was like, Animal Kingdom? What Animal Kingdom? And we're probably saying the same thing. You're right. I mean, the thing was, we've said this over the past 10, 11 years, that you kind of do have to just trust Disney that they're going to pull it off, because sometimes first, hearing about something, it doesn't sound right, or it doesn't sound like it'll work. But Rikki, that's a good point, because it is one of the most popular theme park lands anywhere you can go.
And if we're gonna tie this into something that I can't believe is gone, I can't believe they took out Camp Mini Mickey. I can't believe it for this Pandora land. What? No, I'm just kidding. But
So one of my small things that I can't believe is gone, and I mean it's not a big deal in the grand scheme of things, but I thought again, it's Hollywood Studios though. I mean this park has literally transformed so much. And it's one of the places I love to go, but never bought anything. So that's probably why it is.
Oh, yes. I know where you're going.
Cahuenga's right there as you enter the park. Like that was such a unique place. And I know why it went away. I mean, it was probably, 99% of the people were like me. You like to go in, you'd like to look at the memorabilia. Mm-hmm. I know people that did buy stuff there. I mean, Matt Parrish, I think actually, speaking of Matt, this is the Matt show, talked about, he bought some stuff there, I think. And I mean, it was a good chance to get, especially if you're from the Midwest, not from like out in California, maybe your favorite movie poster or something, but you could probably get those like at Prince Plus at the mall back in the day.
Oh, Prince Plus! Way to throw it back, man!
I used to love getting baseball player posters there. It was awesome.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so, but I mean, I think the thing was like, that was kind of like it sold, like Great Movie Ride was the heart of Hollywood Studios. Sid Cahuenga's was uniquely Disney's Hollywood Studios experience. Like when you were there and you're a kid from St. Louis, it's like, oh, I kind of feel like I'm out in Hollywood, like at this store. Who knows how realistic it was? But I mean, it was a chance to kind of touch some real/fake Hollywood memorabilia. I loved it, but so long since. At least the building's there. It still looks the same. That's good.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does.
There's that. I mean, what is it still like a My Disney Experience help desk? I can't remember.
I don't even know what it is anymore.
That's what it was for a while.
I know Donald and Daisy meet outside of it right now.
Yeah, I've got my picture with them right out there. Yeah. Scott and I with their medals last Princess Half Marathon Weekend did. Yeah. Anyway, okay, so let's shift gears here.
All right.
And talk about something we think like in a decade will be gone. But like right now, it's kind of unbelievable that it might be gone, but you have a reason as to why you think this thing may go away, even though it would be unexpected to the typical guest. So Pam, what would you say?
This is something that's always so challenging for me because I think in some decisions you can see coming a mile away and other decisions you just can't. You can't see happening. But I don't think we're done seeing the changes at Hollywood Studios. And maybe because it is the park that needed to be like, it needed a new sort of defining attractions and goals as a theme park and theming as a theme park, right? The theme had shifted so much over the years that think about the things that are happening. But I have to wonder that some of the shows will change.
If we do not have updates to Voyage of the Little Mermaid or Beauty and the Beast live on stage in 10 years, oh my God.
But look at it. I think the Beauty and the Beast is still popular now because we saw the live action one. And I wondered that if they're willing to keep the Little Mermaid open in anticipation of future projects that are happening there too. The one thing that I think, though, we can feel fairly certain at some point is going to change is Indiana Jones, right? Because even if we were just to update it to the latest Indiana Jones movie that came out a while back, that would at least be something.
Well, they're going to make the new one. There is a new one coming out in 2021, 2022, somewhere in that time frame. So like, they're going to probably tie it in with that one, I would assume, but who knows? So.
I don't know. I really don't. It's hard to think about. So I think that we're going to eventually see some changes there with that.
I totally agree. But if you'd have said 10 years ago that Voyage of the Little Mermaid and Beauty and the Beast would still be here, I'd be like, you're crazy. Like, there's no way those. Right? So who knows? Maybe it'll make it 20. I mean, it's crazy. But you're right. I mean, there's a new isn't Little Mermaid coming out live action?
Yeah, that's true.
Crazy. That stuff hangs on like a bad wisdom tooth. All right, Rikki, that was a bad one. All right,
that was a bad one.
Okay, that was a bad ball.
Well, ahead, Rikki. I think that for me, now I say this knowing that they're updating, sort of. I would be surprised if Mission Space is still the same in 10 years. I just feel that now I say that with a little bit of a caveat. I know that they are going to be adding the Space Restaurant, the Space 220. So that will add an extra element of maybe, letting people know that the attraction exists. And also with the addition of the Play Pavilion and Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind, again, you're going to start seeing people come into that area of the park. Right now, people are really only going to Test Track, and that's about it. So maybe with the Play Pavilion and Cosmic Rewind, once those open, it will make Mission Space more popular. And so maybe my idea is wrong, but I just feel like Mission Space has never really caught on with the general public. I know it gets a lot of people through. I know the throughput is really high, but I just feel like it's been plagued with just so much, not negative press necessarily, but just it doesn't have that same energy level that other attractions have at Epcot. So I think that unless something big changes with, the addition of the Play Pavilion and Cosmic Rewind, I don't know that we will be seeing Mission Space in the same form that we have it in. I think it's great to have a space themed attraction, and I think that would be something that's very important, especially with the addition of the space restaurant. I just don't know if the form that we have Mission Space in is going to remain in 10 years, but who knows?
And I appreciate that they have a space themed kind of attraction that's non-IP, but I mean, this is screaming that they could do an IP overlay, don't you think? To kind of judge it up.
Don't make me hit you.
I mean, think about it. The thing is, it's underperforming. I
know what?
They do this with everything, but I mean, for something that's underperforming, I could totally see it happening.
If we're adding IP to it, which I hate the idea of, and I don't want to throw that idea out, but I know that you've already done it. So I would have thought that actually, Guardians of the Galaxy would have fit in there better. You know what I'm saying? Like I would have thought that was a good fit for Mission Space. I guess I could see maybe a WALL-E attraction going in there if we're gonna theme it to space. I could see WALL-E, and I wouldn't hate a WALL-E attraction. I think that would be somewhat decent. So I mean, if we're throwing characters in, it's not a bad one.
All right, here's my thing that I think that in 10 years that you can't really see coming today. Well, you kind of can, but it's still kind of unbelievable. I don't think we'll see any more fossil fueled buses in 10 years. In a decade, I think that we'll have figured out how to have an all-electric fleet of buses. Now, I don't know about the boats, but I mean, think about it. The gondolas, they're more, they're not running on fossil fuel. I mean, obviously electricity is created by coal and everything, down the line. But I think that in the next 10 years, Disney is either going to be forced or is going to step up to the plate to become a leader in not only more green transportation, which they're a very green company. They get lots of awards for what they do with their hotels, and the water conservation and things like that. And, packaging, like with the soaps, the eliminating, wasteful plastics and stuff like that. I think that they're going to do more and more of that, but I think a great place to go would be electric buses. They can probably figure that out. I mean, they're changing their bus fleet as we speak. They're doing these wraps. They're having, the Chargers and the new buses. I don't know, Pam, what do you think about that? Do you think that Disney will figure that out in the next decade?
I think they'll eventually move towards that. Yet they're already using a cleaner version of fuel that is different. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So I wonder that. I don't know if it'll happen in 10 years, but I think they're moving toward that. I mean, they keep making improvements in that space, and they keep trying to find other ways, to do that. They absolutely do have an initiative when it comes to finding new, greener resources for things like that. But I think they're absolutely going to be on the right track if it's not completed at that time. I think you're absolutely, speaking to something that Disney does try to do.
And knowing what I know about the car industry, I don't know that we're going to be there in 10 years. Just it's moving a lot slower than we thought it would be. So knowing what I know, I see Disney as being a forefront leader in it, maybe, but I don't know in 10 years if we'll be where we think we'll be in with as far as electric cars go or whatever. It's really moving very slow, much slower than I thought we'd be.
It is, but I mean, you got to think about it too with something like that. It's all about right now. The gas is cheap. Say gas goes up to $4 or $5 a gallon.
Yeah, but I still don't.
Quickly.
Again, I know a lot about the car industry. I don't know that we're there yet. I'm being perfectly honest. I really don't know that we're there yet. So.
I mean, it's a good time to have a gas guzzler right now, but
Yeah.
maybe changing in the next week. Who knows? There's a lot of stuff going on. So, one other thing too that I wanted to throw in, like things like the toiletries, they became a tradition for us. I mean, how many of us listen to this podcast now if you're driving, keep it on 10 and 2, but raise your hand if you like me. I mean, we had a big U-Haul truck, and part of that truck was full with Mickey bottles of shampoo, conditioner, and soaps. And like 10, 15 years ago, you're just like, every time I go, I'm going to bring home, 5 bottles of shampoo, 5 bottles of conditioner, and, 2 bottles or 7 soaps. Like that was just as much of the tradition as like meeting Mickey Mouse was coming home with the toiletries. And now it's like people going today will never have that satisfaction, which I'm not against. I think it's great because it is wasteful. I mean, I got a closet full of stuff, and
I know
I could live to be 98 and probably still like, smell like I'm walking out of Pop Century for the rest of my life. But I'm a hoarder. Like I'm scared to use it. Like, oh man, don't want to use up all my stash.
Well, now that it's gone, especially,
I'm scared to use it. I use it like once every, if you're feeling sad, you got to use it. But I mean, it's pert most of the time. So you do.
All right, good for you.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for you. Here's the thing, though. We want you to drop by the Facebook page, facebook.com/BeOurGuestPodcast. Give us what you thought would never go away. And it's going away. Kind of like Foundations, Club Cool, all that stuff. Also, what do you think might be in danger going away in the next decade? So let us know on Facebook. Also, swing by at the Indie Disney Meet. This is a great conversation to have. We're going to be there. We'll tell you if it's right or wrong. No, we'll have to. This is what we do. We're going to have fun talking Disney. And we just want to continue the conversation. Hopefully, this is one that as you're going down the road, if you're driving to the Indie Disney Meet, you can talk back and forth with everybody in the car and have a nice conversation. That's kind of why we picked this show for today. But don't forget, today's show brought to you by the great folks over at the Magic for Less Travel. When you're headed on your next Disney adventure, and adventure is out there. I've heard that from Pam Forrester.
Yes.
You need to drop by the magicforless.com, whether it's Walt Disney World, Disneyland, Adventures by Disney, or even Disney Cruise Line.
Whatever Disney sells.
Or Universal. I was going to throw Universal in there, but I'm really kind of talking Disney, but we can do it all. Just drop by, check out all the specials at themagicforless.com. And once you're there, fill out that free, no obligation quote form. An agent will get back to you right away. And you're going to be planning that next adventure and having a great time headed to your favorite place. So check them out today over at themagicforless.com. Please use our Amazon affiliate link. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. Let us help support the show, and you get all your Prime benefits, so nothing lost there. So bookmark it and use it often. beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. Give us a follow on the social media, as we're going to be posting a ton of stuff from the Indie Disney Meet this weekend. It's at Be Our Guest Pod and at Be Our Guest Mike. Of course, follow the travel agency at The Magic for Less. Rikki's at Rikki Nibs, and Pam is at TMFLT Pam. So follow all those accounts on Instagram and Twitter. We're going to be posting a lot. And of course, facebook.com/BeOurGuestPodcast. All right, time to get out of here. And we're going to see a lot of you in Indy. So stay safe out on those highways and take your time getting there. Be careful. For everybody else, we hope you have a great weekend. For Pam and Rikki, I'm Mike saying stay safe, whatever you do this weekend. And we'll see you real soon. Good stuff. That was a fun one. I like that one.
Yay. It's awesome.
I think that's a good one that people can converse in the car.
I'm conversing right now.
That's right. We'll converse.
With some burritos.
Oh.
ETITED. Okay. All right. So I will talk to you guys, I'm sure, by text, but I'll see you Friday.
I'll see you on Friday.
Good.
Well,
all right.
Probably not. Probably Saturday.
Probably Saturday.
All
right.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Bye.
All right. Bye, guys. See ya.
Bye.